Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping into the very near future to talk about a conversation that really matters. It's all about artificial intelligence, but we're shifting the focus away from, wow, look what AI can do, to, okay, what are we actually going to do with it?
All right, let's just dive right in. We're going to unpack a fictional but honestly incredibly plausible Davos talk from the year 2026. And the whole idea is this. AI is about to put our entire society through 5 major stress tests. And the stakes? They're getting really, really high.
The main idea here, and this is framed by Google DeepMind CEO Demis Hassabis, is that we're moving out of the wow phase, all the cool demos, and squarely into the now phase. This is where AI stops being a tech story and starts becoming a macro force that's going to shape our economies, our jobs, and maybe even our social stability.
So our first stress test is all about the rules of scale. This is where we stop talking about potential and start getting into the messy, complicated reality of plugging this powerful technology into every corner of our world.
The experts in this talk were asked to get brutally practical. I mean, if building the next huge AI model isn't the main game anymore, then what's the actual roadblock? What is really holding us back from using AI to do amazing things in science and medicine and education?
And what's so interesting when you look at this is that all these experts are basically saying the same thing. The problem isn't a lack of genius ideas. It's not about needing a bigger brain in a box. The real challenge is all the messy human stuff, actually integrating AI into our real-world systems, totally redesigning how we work, and crucially, building the trust in the rules so we know who's on the hook when things go wrong.
And that leads to this huge shift in the conversation. Because once we start figuring out those practical problems, once AI moves out of the lab and into our hospitals and our power grids, we have to start talking about something else. It's no longer about what's holding AI back, it's about the very real risks of what we're about to unleash.
So, experts pointed to these things as the missing ingredients. And these aren't just buzzwords. Take something like long-horizon planning. That's just the ability to make a complex plan and actually stick to it, something we do every day. AIs are not great at that yet. Or steerability. Can we reliably tell these incredibly powerful systems what to do and trust them to do it? These are the absolute fundamentals for making sure AI is safe and aligned with what we want. And honestly, the scary part is, we're just not there yet.
So what are governments supposed to do? Well, the idea here is pretty smart. Stop trying to guess when super powerful AI will show up. Instead, plan based on what it can do. For instance, the moment an AI can write and launch its own code without a human, boom, a whole new set of security rules automatically kicks in. It moves us away from just panicking and toward actual practical preparation.
That brings us right to our second stress test, the real-world bill. Because AI's impact isn't just a bunch of code. It's deeply physical and deeply human. There's a bill coming due, and it has 2 huge line items, the cost to people's jobs and the cost to our planet.
Okay, the first part of that bill shows up in the job market. And this is the core tension, right? Is AI going to be a tool that augments us, that makes us better and more valuable at our jobs? Or is it mainly going to be used for replacement, automating people out of a job and pushing down wages? And the thing is, that's a choice. It's not a law of nature.
And this question just perfectly captures the anxiety so many of us feel. It's not just about specific jobs disappearing. It's about those entry-level roles, the junior positions, the apprenticeships, the places where you learn the ropes. If that first rung on the career ladder gets sawed off, how does a whole generation even get started?
Now, beyond the jobs, there's this massive physical cost. This quote from NVIDIA CEO just completely reframes the whole thing. We got to stop thinking about AI as some weightless thing in the cloud. No, this is an industrial process. We are literally manufacturing intelligence. And it has a physical supply chain, just like a car factory. You need the silicon chips. You need massive data centers to put them in. You need unbelievably huge amounts of power from our grids to run them. And then you need tons of water to cool them all down. Every single one of these steps is a potential bottleneck that could bring this whole revolution grinding to a halt.
And the single biggest bottleneck in that entire stack? Power. It's the #1 reality check. The energy demand from AI is just exploding, but our electrical grids were built for a totally different world. This is the one thing leaders don't want to talk about, but you can't really negotiate with physics.
So if we're all going to pay these huge physical and human costs, who exactly gets the rewards? This brings us to our third stress test, and it's a big one: legitimacy.
If AI really does create all this incredible wealth, how do we make sure it doesn't just create incredible inequality?
This was the question they put to the panel, and it cuts right to the heart of our social contract. It points to this huge risk that all the benefits of AI just get funneled to a tiny handful of people, creating a kind of new digital feudalism.
And the answer from all the experts was unanimous, and frankly, pretty sobering. What stops it? Nothing. By default, technology on its own doesn't make things fair. The path of least resistance leads straight to more inequality. We actually have to design and build for fairness. So to build that trust, to get that legitimacy, the panel talked about creating a new rules layer for the AI age. And this isn't just about money. It's things like provenance, a reliable way to know if that video you're seeing is real or fake. It's clear liability, so we know exactly who's responsible when a self-driving car crashes. These are the rules of the road that protect people and keep the whole system fair and competitive.
And here, the inventor of the World Wide Web himself, Tim Berners-Lee, lays down a stark warning. Without open standards, we could end up in a world where a few giant companies don't just offer us services, they control the basic infrastructure of our lives. A world where all that abundance just becomes a new tool for control.
So what's the thread that connects all of these stress tests? From the practical challenges of scale, to the costs, to this question of fairness, what's the one thing that we absolutely have to get right?
And this quote just brings it all home. Our technological capability is accelerating like crazy. That's a given. The real question isn't, will the tech get more powerful? The real question is whether our wisdom, our laws, our institutions, our ethics can possibly keep up with the power that we're creating.
And that leaves us with the fundamental question. This is the challenge of our time, isn't it? It's not really a technology problem anymore. It's a human problem. We're building technologies with godlike power, but are we becoming wise enough to handle them? How we answer that question is going to define everything.